Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in this video I will be analyzing the game that took place earlier today between Ding Liren and Ian Nepomniachtchi, and it resulted in the win of Ding Liren, who was his first win in a World Championship match, and now the score is equal between the two players. It is 2-2. So today was a very interesting game, and Ding Liren started off differently to how he started off in game 2, where he played one d4. In this game, he went for one c4. And Ian Nepomniachtchi played knight f6, and after knight c3, he played e5. So in this position, Ding Liren brought the knight out, attacks the pawn on e5, and Nepomniachtchi defended it by going knight c6. So this is the main position of this variation. And in this position, okay, he played e3 on the fourth move, but apart from e3, many other moves are possible. Just to name them, another option is g3. Another option is e4, that became popular due to Magnus Carlsen. d3 is also possible. So is d4. So is a3. Just to name a few of the options. Yes. So in the game, though, e3 was preferred, and here Nepomniachtchi played bishop b4. So here queen c2 followed, which I know that castles is inaccurate because of knight d5, and this is the reason why black should immediately take the knight on c3. And here, from what I knew, and maybe my knowledge was a bit limited, queen takes c3 was the main move in this position. However, Ding Liren played b takes c3, which is another option, and now d6 continued. So why did they play d6? Well, they put their central pawn on the color that's different to that of the bishop that they have left. So black has a light square bishop, and they put their central pawns on d6 and e5, not to block that bishop. A very important theme in chess is that about good and bad bishops. So e4 followed, so white is taking space in the center, castles, and bishop e2, just normal development. Knight h5. So okay, in this position, it's an imbalanced position. White has the bishop pair, black has a better pawn structure, so it's dynamically balanced. d4 followed by white, so they're taking over the center, and knight f4. Now, knights on f4 are extremely dangerous, and a white knight on f5 is also extremely dangerous, particularly if the opposing side has castled short. So here, what followed was bishop takes f4, ef4. So that knight exchanged, and now castles. Okay, queen f6 from black, rook fe1, rook e8, and bishop d3. Bishop g4 followed, and now knight d2. Here it was knight a5 was played, and c5 from white. So a decisive, an important pawn break he took, and now he pushed forwards with e5. So white is taking over the center, and queen h6 and d5. So now, yes, they are a pawn down, but white controls the center with those two pawns. That's extremely important. Rook a d8, and now c4, just solidifying the center. b6 was played from black to support the knight, and also to make a retreat square for the knight, so it can come to b7 and to join the action. A very important thing is that knights on the edge of the board are weaker, and also if you don't know what to do, try and think which is your worst piece and try to activate it. Very important thing. h3 followed, bishop h5, bishop e4. And of course, the trick is that no, they didn't blunder a pawn. After going there, there is bishop h7, followed by rook takes e5. So rook e7 was played instead, queen c3, supporting the pawn on e5, rook goes to e8, bishop f3. Okay, so knight b7 was played, bringing back the black knight into the game. Also, it controls d6, which is very important. And rook e2, f6, and e6. So white is pushing forwards. However, the knight now gets the d6 square. Okay, rook a comes to e1. Knight comes now to f5. An exchange of bishops. And now rook e4. Queen h6 to defend the pawn on f4, and queen f3. So queen f3 attacks the pawn on f4 again. So they want to go rook f4, or maybe even queen f4, because now the endgame should be good for white. Knight d4 was played, and this was a critical moment in the game. So far, both decisive games were because of exchange sacrifices. In the previous game, in game 2 actually, Nepomniachtchi sacrificed with rook takes g5, and then they won a pawn, and they had two bishops again and a pawn against the rook and the knight, and that was decisive for them. Well, here it was rook takes d4, c takes d4, and now the knight is just very strong. g5 was played, and knight takes d4. So again, white does get a pawn for the exchange being down. And g4, a really nice move, because now they want to go knight f5 with complete domination. They takes back with the pawn, h5, and now knight f5. Knight f5 is a very important square. Rook goes to h7, and now queen e4. So the threat here, let's say that that black plays a bad move like a5. The key threat is knight e7, and after any rook takes on e7, loses the queen. And if king g7, of course, again loses the queen. So that's the threat, and something needs to be done. So king h8 was played. e7 from white, queen f7, and now d6. C takes d6, knight takes d6, queen g8, knight takes e8, and in this position we can clearly see that the material might be equal. However, white has a passed pawn on e7, and for those that know me quite well, that have watched maybe some previous videos, having a passed pawn is extremely dangerous. My favorite chess code of all times is the one by Aaron Nimzovich in his book My System, which says that the passed pawn is a criminal that must be held under lock and key. Mild measures, such as police surveillance, are not sufficient. And here, the passed pawn on e7 is a criminal that is threatening black, and there is not much that black can do about it, because it ties down his whole army, both his queen and the rook. So it was just a matter if white would play precisely, and they did. Queen e6, king g7, rook f1, rook h6 to defend f6, but now rook d1 threatening rook d8. f5 was played, which threatens the white queen. Queen e5 check, king f7, queen takes f5, rook f6, queen h7, king e6, queen g7. And the problem here, you will be asking, why not here? Because if they go there, then sorry, not there, that was a mouse slip. That's why I'm not a big fan of online chess. Rook e8 would follow, and the queen would be lost. And if rook f7, then okay, multiple ways to win. For instance, just here, yeah, and it's winning. Okay, so instead, queen g7, rook g6 was played, and now queen f8, and Nepomniachtchi resigned. And the reason he resigned is very obvious. If, of course, takes the queen, then promotes a new queen and promotes just a new queen. And if they take there, of course, it's rook e1 and losing the queen on e7 and the game. So it was a very nice game by Ding Liren. Going back, the critical moment was the exchange sacrifice that happened. And yeah, it was very spectacular. So here, queen f3 and knight d4, this move here, which allows the exchange sacrifice. And yeah, a really nice win by Ding Liren. And now the match is equal. After 4 games, there are 10 more games to go. Tomorrow is a rest day. The action continues on Saturday. Now, I said I would be making videos and I'm going to keep my word. However, Saturday I am playing a game myself in the Richardson Cup. I'm representing Phones against Edinburgh. So it's going to be a big fight. I don't know when I will be making the video for the recap, but I will do at some moment. Anyway, well, I hope that you enjoyed the video. You took value from it. I'm really looking forward to the next games for all the action, see what's going to happen. Until then, bye for now. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you for staying and watching until the end. And I will see you at the next video if you're a subscriber. Goodbye.